getting ready to put it back together. This is all tricky, I found, right at this point, where I got all the little metal deals out, these things out there, and the back end, this end would lift up like that, but this end here with the long end would not. But you gotta kind of twist it like that. If you twist it a little bit, it pops out, and that's what you got. And that looks like that at the bottom and at the top. So I got my new one over here. This is the new one, and I'm just gonna drop that back on there where the other one came off. Make sure everything looks okay before I do it, and that'll be that. End of story. Just before I put this together, I'm measuring exactly how much came out of the motor. Now, a lot of it's spilled on the ground, but I've measured 4 quarts, and this is about 10 ounces. So there's a good possibility there was 5 quarts in there, because I lost quite a bit of oil through this whole process. The rest of it's in a bucket that big, and I drained it out of the pan, so I'm gonna get it recycled right there and put it in one of these big red things. I'm gonna clean this pan out. I put a little bit of gasoline in it, and I'm gonna clean it out, make sure I get all the iron filings out. Some of them say that sometimes they say that there's a magnet in here, but I don't see it, and I'm not going to put one in. But I'm just going to clean it up and get it ready to put back. Alright, so here's the new piece. We got that back on again, and I'm just going to go and clip these little guys back into place. As you can see, do something like that. One on. We get this next guy. It comes over there, and we push that back on there, and we're almost ready to go. So I got the pan clean, and I'll show you the bottom here, what it looks like. We're over there right now. That's what it all looks like, and it's still dripping oil. So and then we got the cable up top there waiting for us, and lots of oil still coming down. It's a messy job. I'm about to wrap things up on the mechanical side. I've put the new rubber seal on it. As you can see, it's nice and clean, the pan, and I'm going to be putting in the new filter. All obviously Mercedes-Benz parts, and this just pressures right into that little hole in the bottom. It's pretty much a no-brainer. Just shove this in and bolt this back up again. I put the plug back in with the new copper washer. So we're pretty much all done. I'm just going to bolt this in. Bolts hold this down, and we'll be ready to fill up with we're on the last stages of this bit of fun here we're having. It's taken me about, I don't know, 3 hours this far. I didn't want to start the car, obviously, so I put it in neutral and pushed off the ramp, so it'll be easier to work on filling it up with oil. Now, this is a kind of a dumb idea, one of many, but when you try and take this thing off here, that's, you see you got the battery right over here. Right next to the battery you got this little thing. Well, that's the only way you're going to get oil into your system. So this has like a little plastic little red thing on it, and you have to break it off. You can see how thin that is. Well, you have to break it off, and then you give it a good old pull. And then it looks like that, you see. And then Mercedes-Benz is happy to sell you a new little locking key, you see. Now you look down the hole there, and you see a whole lot of nothing. And that's because Mercedes-Benz doesn't give you a dipstick. And that's why I try to measure as accurately as possible how much oil I took out. So I'm going to put the same amount back in. Now, I probably lost about half a quart just through waste and spillage and what have you. So I can tell you that I definitely have 4.5 quarts that I pulled out. That Mercedes-Benz, in all their wisdom, gave me 4 quarts, which means I'm 1 quart short. So I guess if you're going to do this yourself, you need to make sure how much your transmission takes. Anyway, so I got that, and then I got a little handy dandy thing from the store, which is one of these deals, you see. Woo! It's only about $1 or $2, whatever it is. You got to have it though, and you're going to shove it in that little hole there, like so, and fill it up with oil. And that's the only way to get oil in this very clever little Mercedes-Benz automobile system. And then when I'm finished with that, I'm going to put one of these back in, and I'm going to put a new key in, which I got already, so I don't have to take a special trip back to the store. Okay, so that's about wrapping it up. We might have one more clip, and that's... I haven't put the final touches on by putting that little red clip on, because I think I'm 1 quart too short, and I don't want to be driving down the street with 1 quart, which is a lot of oil missing. So I'm just going to get another quart tomorrow. But I just want to show you the difference in color between what I... Okay, so this is a white cloth, and this is some of the leftovers, and this is the actual color of the new transmission oil. You see it's red, and that is black. So that's how it should look. Mercedes-Benz said this thing would last a lifetime. Well, it depends whose lifetime we're talking about. You know, if you bought it when you were 80, yes, it will last you a lifetime. When you're 40, it's not likely. It should look red. It looks black. Not good. And we'll test drive it tomorrow, make sure everything works out okay. I will give you another visual of the diagram. Here it is. This is the parts diagram. This is with everything together. There's this little guy at the bottom. Got to take out the little screw, and these little things pop out. Don't lose the shaft. And you got the schematic here of those two plastic deals you pop off. The screws on the top you take out, and those like piston things with metal contacts. You pull those out, make sure you get them in the right place, and all the rest of it. So the next time I do a video is going to be doing brakes. I've already got the stuff ready for that, so I'll be doing brakes on the ML320, and we'll go from there. I just want to show you something with this little wacky cap and the red deal. You got to replace it once you break the top off, but you can pull it out the bottom. Make sure you put it back on here to like this. Oops. Ah, man, you gotta give it a good push to get it down. There you go. Okay, and then once that's on, then what you're gonna do is push the little red guy back on like that, and then you'll never be able to take that off unless you pull that little brain thing off, and you're gonna break it off, and it's gonna look like that, and you gotta buy a new one. So just make sure you put that little red guy back on when you finish the job. Make sure that you put it on after you put this thing back on the tube, not before. Otherwise, you won't be able to push the black guy down.